Craving that heart-pounding bass that elevates your car rides into mini concerts? Look no further than the top 5 subwoofers for car in 2024. Subwoofers add that extra punch to your car's audio system, bringing those low-end frequencies to life. Whether you're a basshead or simply want to add some depth to your music, a good subwoofer makes all the difference. But with a vast array of options available, choosing the right one can be tricky. In this video, we'll break down the top 5 contenders, helping you find the perfect subwoofer to transform your car's sound.
Erster Ska Audio SDR12.
First off, this subwoofer is definitely hefty. It's got a solid build quality that feels reassuring when you pick it up. The design is pretty standard as far as subwoofers go, but Scar Audio does have a couple of cool customization options, which I'll talk about in a minute. Overall, the impression you get is that this thing is built to handle some serious power. Alright, let's get down to the real nitty-gritty. How does it sound? I hooked the SDR12 up to my briefly describe your sound system setup and fired up some tracks with a good amount of bass. Right away, I was impressed. The low-end response is deep, rich, and powerful. It delivers those deep bass notes without any distortion, even when you crank up the volume. Whether you're listening to hip-hop, electronic music, or even just movies with big explosions, the SDR12 really brings those low frequencies to life. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Scar Audio offers some cool customization options for the SDR12. You can choose from a few different grill styles to match the look of your car or home theater setup. They also offer a couple of different coil configurations, so you can pick the one that best suits your amplifier. That kind of flexibility is always a plus in my book. Let's talk about value. The Scar Audio SDR12 is definitely on the affordable end of the subwoofer spectrum. But don't let the price fool you. You're getting a lot of sub for your money here. The sound quality is excellent, the build quality is solid, and the customization options are a nice touch. If you're looking for an overall, I'm really impressed with the Scar Audio SDR12. It's a great option for anyone who wants to add some serious bass to their sound system without breaking the bank. If you're looking for a subwoofer in this price range, I highly recommend checking out the SDR12. 2. Rockville SS8P. First impressions, this thing is definitely portable. It's not the lightest speaker out there, but it's got a built-in handle and it comes with a carrying strap, which makes it easy to take to gigs, parties, or wherever you need some sound. It's also got a built-in battery, which is a huge plus. You're not tethered to an outlet, which gives you a lot more flexibility. Setting it up is pretty straightforward. It's got your standard XLR and RCA inputs, so you can connect microphones, instruments, or even your phone or MP3 player. There's also a Bluetooth connection, which is great for streaming music wirelessly. Plus, it comes with a wireless remote, so you can control the volume and playback from a distance. Alright, let's talk about the sound. Now, for the price, it's not bad. It's definitely loud enough for small to medium-sized venues. The bass isn't super deep, but it's there. And the highs are a little bright, but nothing too ear-piercing. Overall, the sound quality is decent, especially considering how affordable this system is. One thing to keep in mind is that this isn't a high-fidelity sound system. It's designed for portability and functionality, not audiophile-grade listening. But for parties, announcements, karaoke nights, or even just background music, it does the job just fine. Here are some of the things I really like about the Rockville SS8P. First, the built-in battery is a game-changer. Second, the Bluetooth connectivity is super convenient. And lastly, the price is unbeatable. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind. The sound quality isn't going to blow you away, and the construction feels a little cheap. But hey, you get what you pay for, right? So, overall, would I recommend the Rockville SS8P? If you're on a tight budget and need a portable PA system for small to medium-sized events, then absolutely. It's a great value for the price. But if you're a professional musician or need a system for larger venues, then you might want to consider something with a bit more power and better sound quality. First things first, let's talk about the specs. This is a dual 8-inch subwoofer, which means it takes up a bit less space than some of the larger 12-inch options out there. But don't let the size fool you. This thing packs a punch. It's rated at 800 watts peak power, which is plenty for most cars. Now, moving on to the build quality. The P8 AUX feels pretty solid. The enclosure is made from MDF, which is a good sign, and the terminals seem secure. It's not the flashiest looking sub on the market, but hey, it's what's on the inside that counts, right? Alright, let's get to the most important part. How does it sound? I hooked this sub up to a decent amp, and I gotta say, I was impressed. The bass is tight and responsive, and it can hit those low notes without any distortion. It's not going to rattle your windows unless you crank it way up, but it delivers a clear, powerful sound that will definitely add some low-end thump to your music. Of course, sound quality is subjective, so what might sound amazing to me might not be your cup of tea. But overall, I think the P8 AUX is a great option for anyone who's looking for a good-sounding, affordable subwoofer. Now, is it perfect? Well, no. Here's the thing, you get what you pay for. This isn't a top-of-the-line subwoofer, and it doesn't have all the bells and whistles of some of the more expensive options. But for the price, it's hard to beat. So, who should consider the Planet Audio P8 AUX? If you're on a budget and you're looking for a subwoofer that will add some serious bass to your car audio system, then this is a great option. However, if you're an audiophile or you're looking for a subwoofer that will win car shows, then you might want to look elsewhere. 4. Rockville RW10CA. Let's start with what makes the RW10CA unique. First off, it's incredibly thin. At only 2.7 inches tall, it's designed to slide under your seat, which is a massive space saver. Plus, it's got a built-in amplifier, so you don't need to buy and install a separate one. That cuts down on installation time and keeps things nice and tidy. Speaking of installation, Rockville claims this is a breeze to set up. It's got high-level inputs with auto turn-on, so all you really need to do is wire it up and you're good to go. They even include a remote bass knob, so you can fine-tune the sound from the driver's seat. Now, how does it actually sound? Well, with 800 watts of peak power, the RW10CA definitely packs a punch. It's not going to rattle your windows, but it'll add some serious low-end thump to your music. On the downside, the 200 watts RMS is a bit lower than some competing underseat subs. But hey, if you're looking for a more subtle bass boost, that might not be a deal-breaker. Another thing to consider is the sound controls. The RW10CA lets you adjust the low-pass filter, phase switch, and bass boost. That gives you a good amount of control over how the subwoofer blends with your car's speakers. On the other hand, some users might find these options a little overwhelming if you're not familiar with car audio. Overall, the Rockville RW10CA is a solid option for anyone who wants to add some easy-to-install bass to their car without sacrificing a lot of space. It's not the most powerful subwoofer out there, but the built-in amp, remote controls, and user-friendly design make it a great option for those who want a simple and effective bass solution. 5. Rockville VSS10K54. First off, this thing is compact. We're talking about a 10-inch subwoofer, so it's not going to take up a ton of space in your trunk. That's great news for folks with smaller cars. The enclosure itself seems well built. It's made out of 3/4-inch MDF, and it feels nice and sturdy. Rockville even threw in some aviation-grade tweed carpet for a little extra touch. Now, let's get to the nitty-gritty, the sound. Rockville advertises this sub as a 1,200-watt beast, but that's peak power, which isn't really what matters. The more important number is the RMS power handling, which in this case is 300 watts. That's enough to add some serious bump to your car's sound system, but maybe not window-rattling bass. Speaking of bass, this sub is tuned to a frequency of 35 Hz. That means it's going to deliver some deep, low tones. In my car, it definitely added some punch to the kick drum and bass lines in my music. Now, I gotta be honest, for the price, the sound quality is pretty good. It's not going to win any audiophile competitions, but it's definitely a step up from your stock car speakers. If you're looking for a way to add some low-end thump to your system without breaking the bank, the Rockville VSS10K54 is a solid option. Of course, there are a few things to keep in mind. First, the sub needs an amplifier to power it. It won't work on its own. Second, like any subwoofer, proper installation is key to getting good sound. Make sure you get the enclosure secured properly in your trunk, and aim the subwoofer towards the front for the best bass response. Overall, the Rockville VSS10K54 is a decent little subwoofer for the price. It's compact, delivers good bass, and is easy to install. If you're on a budget and looking for a way to upgrade your car's sound system, this Rockville sub is definitely worth considering. If you're on a budget and need a basic PA system for casual use, the Rockville VSS10K54 is definitely worth considering. So, that's our list of the top 5 subwoofers for car in 2024. Remember, the ideal subwoofer depends on your taste, budget, and car's audio setup. Consider the factors we discussed to make an informed decision. Let us know in the comments below which subwoofer caught your eye, and what kind of music you typically listen to in your car. We love interacting with our viewers, so we'll do our best to reply to as many comments as possible. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, and hit that subscribe button for more car audio content. We've also linked some additional resources in the description below to help you on your subwoofer search. Happy thumping!